last few sessions, we've looked at the need for good posture, to release us to have good grip. And we've also understood that the posture, the spinal angle, permits the swing to live in plane. And the explainer is the general impression of the swing plane, and yet we as human beings still allowed to sort of wobble and move within explainer. One of my favourite teaching adages is that 90% of swing faults start at address, and the other 10% start at address as well. It's a simple thing. If a bicycle wheel is brand new, it will spin in the frame beautifully with no help from anybody. But if that wheel gets buckled and bent, then it can no longer function in plane. So essentially, if you have good preparation, which is posture, alignment and grip, then there's a good chance that your swing functions within the plane. But if your grip and your posture and your alignment are poor, then you're led down the path of a wonky swing and then making compensations. So it's a simple numbers game. The better your preparation, the greater the chance you've got of making a good movement and hitting the correct shot. Now, as you know, I like to relate other activities to the golf swing, and I find some of the best pupils, particularly female pupils, coming to me, they've come from a hockey background or a tennis background, and that's really helpful. So let me just show you the hockey stick. There's no loft on the face of the hockey stick. So let's suppose I was using the hockey stick to knock the peg into the floor again. It's a flat surface. I think you can see that that would be a glancing blow. We're trying to deliver the flat surface against the end of the post. So if I lay the post down as though I were going to strike it towards the target with the hockey stick, what you can see is if the shaft is behind, the face is shut going left, and the shaft is ahead and the face is going right. Okay? So the way we present the shaft preempts the whole of our pre-shot routine. Okay, so let's just turn the peg round so with a golf ball on it, but we have the understanding that the golf swing, whatever plane is it in, be it upright or shallow, the idea of the blow is to direct the blow along the target line, and a square blow at impact is preferable, but not obligatory. Lee Trevino made millions of dollars with a slightly open blade, and Gary Player made millions of dollars with a slightly closed blade. Square is the optimum. It's a reference point, you don't have to use it. So let's trade in the hockey stick for a 6-iron, and let's just talk to you about pre-shot routine. So I stand comfortably and I look at my target. I've got the yellow flag quite close to here, and my first job is simply to aim the club face. So you can see that the striking surface is the leading edge of the club. Many of you line up with the top edge and get the club face closed. It's key that the leading edge is square to the intended line of strike. Now, when you place the 6-iron behind the ball, the club sits on its bottom. And it's vital that the angle of the head and the shaft have been custom made to fit your physique, because we want to bend the neck and the shaft of the club to suit your swing plane. Short people will want a club down here, and tall people a club up there. So when you put the club behind the ball, assuming the club is correct for your body, the lie of the club determines the height of your hands. Too low, toe in the air, too high. It also determines how far you're off the ball, too far away and too near. So if I stand here and aim the club and the shaft correctly, the club sits on its bottom. I know my height, I know my distance. Now, when I tip from the hip to build the grip, you can see that posture and grip are interrelated. I can then plant my feet. Now the beauty is, the only visual alignment you need is the club face and shaft. If you can get the club face and shaft aligned correctly, a good grip will give rise to a good shoulder line, and a good shoulder line will oblige your hips, knees and feet also to be parallel to the target line. So let's not call the setup a position. That's rather stark and black and white and rather sort of rigid. Let's see the pre-shot routine as a series of small movements in readiness for two major ones. I'm just going to turn my back to you for a second. So I would stand on the ball target line to observe my shot. I'd walk in and stand here. I'm not a golfer yet, I'm just me. I now step in and aim the club. That's the key. Aiming the club, presenting the shaft. I tip from the hip to build my grip, and my posture is ready to go. And now I plant my feet. And from here, I can swing the club as I want. If I step back into Explanar, I think you can see the swing plane has been set, and you can see that my shoulders, hips, knees and feet are aligned. And my swing can now start in sympathy with Explanar. Okay? If my body was this way, the Explanar would be in my way. If my body was this way, the Explanar wouldn't affect me. But the angle of my spine allows Explanar to keep me close to the plane. And I say close, I'm not asking you to swing dead on plane. If I ask you to swing like Explanar, that'd be like someone trying to ride a bicycle without wobbling. You can't do it. You have to wobble. So riding a bike is controlled imperfection, in and out of balance, and swinging a golf club is controlled imperfection because the club head will track in and out of plane during its journey. The critical phase, of course, is the one impact when the club face meets the ball.